Tony Collins on leadership and workplace safety. Leadership and safety is critical to drive the culture within the workplace, and we've talked about a model under a blog called Workplace Safety Model. And when I say leadership, I mean more than the senior management. I'm talking about the supervisors in your workplace. Very few people have more day-to-day influence than the supervisors. They set the tone for safety within your business. Of course, they listen to senior management, so we're going to be talking about senior management today. I remember a story from the head of a safety culture company based out of America. And this company gets brought in to measure the attitudes, values, communication style, and so on of the senior leaders around safety. And this company's worked with NASA and many large organizations and interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people. And they were finding, when they were talking to the people in this company, that a particular individual kept getting mentioned. Wherever they went, whatever they do around safety, his name was there. And his individual scores were off the roof. They were just, he set the benchmark, and they were really excited to meet this guy and find out, why are you so good? When they met him, they asked him, and he said the turning point for him was years earlier when he was a plant manager. As a plant manager, he got used to early morning phone calls, and they were not good news. There was a crisis, and it could include an employee being injured. So he had this 2:00 in the morning phone call, and sure enough, he woke up, he was on his way to the phone. The difference was, though, his twin daughters had left to go to university not long beforehand. So he was thinking on his way to the phone, oh no, what's happened to them? When he picked up the phone, he found out it was an employee who was seriously injured, and he felt relief that it wasn't his daughters, followed quickly by an enormous sense of guilt that he felt that way. And in the past, he had always done what he could for the employee, but now the difference was he was emotionally engaged because he knew somebody else was going to get that 2:00 in the morning phone call. Right then and there, he had a massive emotional mindset change to safety. Despite the protests of the PR and the company lawyers, remember we're talking about the US and litigation and admission of a liability, he treated this particular individual as family. And from then on, that's the way he treated safety. So what does that mean for you? Well, what I suggest you do, because not everyone is going to have such an experience, and neither do you want them to have that experience to get turned on to safety. But what I suggest you do is find out and do a stock take of your boss, the owner of the business, the chief executive. Why do they want safety in the business? Why are you doing this sort of work? Is it to manage compliance? Is it to increase profits? Is it to win more contracts? Was there an emotional reason for your boss's motivation to get into safety? By understanding where they're at, you have a better chance of increasing workplace safety, because then you know their hot buttons and you know what you need to do. And if there's any work you need to do with them, that's a different matter. But at least take a stock take. Where are they at? And that will help you lift workplace safety within your business.